I was not the studying type in middle school. Things started to change in high school, and they became perfect in university. Many students believe that getting straight A's means sacrificing your mental health, sacrificing your social life, sacrificing your physical health. But I can confirm that that's not true. Living a balanced life is very much possible with just the right study techniques and time management and organizational skills. So trust me, you can be that straight A student, whatever that means. But just remember that your grades don't define your potential in anything. Working hard, that's what matters at the end of the day. At most universities, you're given the choice to choose from a bunch of courses that they have in their online portals. My recommendation for you guys would be to look at the entire list and also set up a meeting with your academic advisor, because these people are really good at understanding your tastes and your passions, and they can direct you towards choosing the absolute right courses for you guys, which have good professors and which align with your interests and also help you graduate in time. There's a website called ratemyprofessors.com. You can go over there and you can type up the professor's name, and for most professors you'll get like recommendations from past students, and they tell you what's good about their teaching, what's bad about their teaching, what kind of content they teach, what is their teaching method and stuff like that. However, you should be aware of all type of negative, stingy comments, because some students, let's face it, they're just there on that website to rant out their feelings about getting a C or a D and not an A or an A minus and stuff like that. I would also advise you guys to make like a Google spreadsheet in which you guys can write down the courses and fulfillments that you've already done and the ones that you have to do, so that you don't have to cram everything in your final year and you don't make it very hectic and you graduate smoothly on time. Once you have your classes, whether they're online or in person or all of that decided, you should always write down your schedule and write down your class timings, either online or on paper. Either works. Once you have that schedule laid out before you, it's easy to visualize and picture out what your days are going to look like, so you can manage your time well. For instance, you can revolve your social life, your exercise, your sleep times, your meal times, all of that around your class timing, so that you have space for everything and you can live that balanced lifestyle instead of just working all the time. For instance, if you have a class at 8 a.m. on most days, it's probably beneficial for you to sleep by 11 or max 12, so that you can get up, get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep and then head to class. However, if you have class at like 5 p.m. or any class up to like say 12:30 p.m. or stuff like that, maybe you can sleep later if you're a night owl. So you have to understand what works best for you and then work around that instead of cramming everything during certain hours and expecting good results. Recognize when you study well. Are you a morning person like an early bird, or are you a night person? If you focus well in the morning, then I would suggest that you get up in the morning and get most of your work done then, and that means studying during that time and attending classes later during the day. You also have to understand that you might not be able to attend all parties and social events and hang out with your friends every single day for long durations of time, because let's face it, you can keep that for the weekend where you have more time, where you don't have classes, you don't have other priorities that you should be focusing on. During the weekdays, I would urge you guys to focus more on your studies and your academic course load. Please make sure that you sleep, you eat well and you exercise well. Try and exercise every single day or every other day. I'm telling you guys, it might feel like a time waster for some reason, especially in this generation. People are like, oh, I don't have time to sleep, or I don't have time to eat that meal. That's really not good for you, because then your body will be slumped the whole day and then you won't be able to work as efficiently. A lot of times I've realized that students' grades, they drop because they miss out on like a small assignment or anything tweaked into that syllabus just because they didn't read it. Your syllabus is your Bible. Please read it all the time. When you're reading your syllabus, look at the things you've already finished and mark them off so that you don't have to worry about them, and it's like it's gone, it's done and it's gone, and focus on the things that are ahead of you. Read every single line of your syllabus. Once you've read the syllabus, you can shift those deadlines onto your calendar also. For instance, if you use Google Calendar, you can write them down, like for example, May 12th, this particular assignment is due, then May 13th, a reading is due for a different class, stuff like that, so that it's always in front of you, and then there's very less chance that you will forget. If some of the readings that you've been assigned are really long, they're really tedious, they're really repetitive, I understand that it's okay to skim them. I've done that too. However, it also depends on the importance of the reading. For instance, if it's a reading for just a discussion and you're not really going to be tested on it, then it's okay to sometimes skim the reading only if it's really long and really boring. However, if it's a reading on which you have an exam or if you have to write a paper on it, I would highly suggest you to not skim it at all. Reading summaries on many online websites can be beneficial for you to synthesize and gather all your ideas and your thoughts, but it really isn't beneficial when it comes to that exam day or that paper, because you need your analysis to have specifics, and any of those like summary guides online, they do not give you specifics. They only give like the overall gist of it. So if you're just understanding the topic, then it's fine to read that. Otherwise, don't just rely on them. Actually do the reading. Classes in universities vary. Some classes are usually like lecture classes in which there's a professor and there are like 100 students and the professor puts on a presentation and just speaks for like 2 hours. Other classes are small, like seminar-based classes in which you have like 10-12 students, and it's more discussion-based rather than, you know, you just writing notes all the time. I would suggest you guys, in whichever class you have to take notes in class and don't rely on the textbook, because your notes, they're written in your own language or the professor's language, so it's easier to understand. Plus, you have to read less when it comes to exam preparation if you just read your notes rather than looking over the textbook, which gives you a lot of unnecessary details. At least in my case, my textbooks usually are very long and I'm never tested on those extra things. I'm only tested on what my professor tells me during class, which I've already noted down in my notes. So I don't technically have to read more and study harder. I just have to look at my notes and just understand them, and trust me, that's like the best synthesis you can get from any other textbook or like online notes of some other person. So take your own notes. In classes that are more discussion based, I would urge you guys to actively listen and to also actively participate. Otherwise, you're naturally gonna zone out. At least in my case, if I'm not listening and if I'm not talking, participating, stuff like that, then I tend to zone out, which obviously then you lose the purpose of it all. Plan out your assignments. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like to plan a lot and just works well on the last night before the assignment is due and works well under pressure, then you can do you can plan accordingly. But personally, I'm just not that kind of person. I always like to take my time and finish it in the best possible manner that I can. For me and people like me, I would urge you guys to break down all the aspects. For example, if it's like a written paper, then you have your research, your writing, and you have editing and proofreading to do. Break down all these elements for different days or different parts of a certain day. For instance, if you have like a 2,000 word academic paper due in like 2 weeks, you can probably start doing the research and take like 2 to 3 days for the research, and then you can write around like 300 or 350 words per day for your writing phase. I'm a slow writer, so I write very, very little on each day, and then after that you still have time to revise and proofread. Trust me, proofreading helps a lot. You catch a lot of silly grammatical errors or factual errors that can save you a lot of grades if you just sit down and do that proofreading for like an extra hour before you submit your assignment. Students, I feel, and I was a part of this as well, they feel stupid or silly asking those like silly questions. But let me assure you guys, there's no such thing as a silly question. The professors, they actually love it when you sign up for their office hours and you go and meet them, or you even shoot them an email. All of that makes them really happy and makes them feel that they're doing a good job and the students are interacting with them. And on top of that, your doubts get cleared. So it's always a good thing to clear your doubts sooner rather than later, because in the end, when everything piles up, you just sort of like give up, because now there are too many doubts that you can't clear, and then you're going to be really confused in the exam. So don't reach that stage like ever. We all know the biggest distractor of all time. Where is it? Okay, I don't have it here. It's my phone. It's everybody's phone. Do anything to keep your phone away from you if you tend to look and scroll through social media, do play games or do any of that. Give it to someone, put it on airplane mode, switch it off, throw it out of your house. Do anything to not be physically able to reach that phone until you're done with that study session of yours. Sometimes, and I'm a true believer of this, sometimes the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your studies and for your health is to just take a break. There are many different ways to take mini productive breaks. For example, you can go out on a walk, you can spend some time with your friends or family, you can watch some YouTube videos, go get some fruit. All these are great things that you can practice to take those mini breaks. Of course, taking mini breaks doesn't mean that you sit on and scroll on your phone for 2 hours, but decide accordingly based on your situation. heard that saying, practice makes perfect, and even though I don't believe that there's anything like perfect, but it does reach that level. You just have to keep practicing the tips that I mentioned in this video. You have to keep making gradual changes to your routine. One day if you decide that yes, I'm going to get up at 8 a.m. and I'm going to finish all my work and I'm going to go to bed by like 12 or something, and previously you had been getting up at like 2 p.m. that's not going to happen in, you know, one day. Like, change doesn't happen overnight, it takes time. So be patient with yourself, be forgiving, allow room for mistakes, because that's when you truly realize what you're really good at in terms of time management and organization, and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So listen to your mind and your body and take that time out for yourself. Lastly, remember that change is very, very, very much possible, and many good things are coming your way. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something from it. If you have any other tips, recommendations, or even questions, please leave them down in the comment section below, or you can even reach out to me on Instagram or any other social media sites. I'll always reply. Thank you so much again for watching. Please do like and subscribe and share this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.